Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of 1 Month Later, where we review and talk about hit video games 1 month after release to see if the hype is still real or if it's just going to fizzle into the $20 bin. My name is Josh, and for this first episode, I am joined by the most wonderful, most dashing, most heroic looking Jake from Welcome to GameCorp. Thank you. Thank you for coming, Jake.
No, thank you. When you approached me to talk about Elden Ring, I was like, okay, let me contain my excitement, and then I exploded into this. Like,
I'm so happy that you dressed up for the occasion. If I'm going to start doing these with guests, I'm going to need to make sure that they dress up now. Like, you set the bar so high, and I appreciate
dude.
that.
Your rule. Make them. Like, if you want to be on this show, you got to go the extra mile, baby.
So today we are talking about Elden Ring, the game that nobody thought was going to come out, the game that there was so much hype behind it. There was no way that this game could be good. And that's why I wanted this to be the first episode of 1 month later, because is it still good a month after release? Which it's hard to believe that this game came out a month ago already.
Yeah, dude, I would agree. Like it's kind of taken over my life. Like I feel like it's okay. So I play it before work. I play it after work when like everybody goes to bed. When I'm not playing it, I'm watching videos about it. Like it's completely absorbed my life. Like even to the detriment of like my own show sometimes. Like if that says anything.
Yeah. Oh my God. So like I said, we are here to talk about Elden Ring. I am just like overwhelmed right now with just so much emotions that I just need to get it out, talk about this game because God, this game it's a thing. But before we dive into it, let's talk about the history of From Software and the Souls-like games. So what is our history with these games? And I want you to tell me, where did you start? How did you get introduced to From Software?
Oh, it's kind of a wild story, man. So my first foray into all of this was Dark Souls. Always been a big fan of fantasy and like dark fantasy, things like that. Like beforehand, I'd play things like Dragon Age Origins. Like I dive into that dark fantasy. I'm like, ooh, it's more of that. I'm gonna love this. I go in. I'm the typical newbie to this genre of gaming. I get my butt kicked over and over and over and over, and I quit. And then a week later, I start again, and I make it to Ornstein and Smog, and I quit. And a few years later, I end up with Bloodborne on my PS4, and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm in for, but this is cool. I love this setting, this gothic nightmare, eldritch abomination stuff. I get my ass kicked, quit at Vicar Amelia, but I didn't give up. Yeah, I didn't give up. I was like, okay, I'm going to beat this game because it is so cool. I went back to Dark Souls, and I played it and played it and played it until I beat it. Like I cut my teeth on Dark Souls until I fucking, if I can say that. Can we?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Until
100%.
I fucking beat it. Until I fucking beat Dark Souls 1, and then I went back and then I just destroyed Bloodborne and the DLC and all that stuff. And since then, I learned the dance. I learned how to play this game, and it's been one of my favorite franchises ever since.
So my story's very similar to yours, actually. So a long time ago, Xbox unveiled this thing called Games with Gold, and a couple months into it, they gave us Dark Souls 1 for free, included with the Games of Gold. And I was like, I was like, oh shit, like I've never played this before. This is a highly rated game. People talk about it all the time. I think it was around the time when Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3 was just about to come out. And I was like, I'm going to try it just to see what all the hype is. Played it for like 10 minutes. I was like, I hate this fucking game. This game is terrible. This game is shit. I don't why is it taking forever to swing my sword? Why is there a stamina meter? I don't understand any of this kind of stuff. And I deleted it from my hard drive. I was like, I don't ever want to see this again. I'm going to talk so much shit on everybody who thinks that these are good games. And then a couple years later, Bloodborne came out, and I didn't care about it. I was like, oh, it's just another one of those Dark Souls games. This time it's just got weirder creatures and it's more of a gothic era. I like the way that this game looks. I like the way that it feels and stuff like that, but I didn't like the gameplay. And my one friend was telling me, he's like, oh, this is like a top 5 game of all time of mine. This is probably like it's
Mhm.
close to being my favorite game of all time. You really need to play it. And at the time, I think it was on sale for like $10. Like usually during the holidays when PlayStation runs those, the greatest hits games that are like ridiculously reduced in price. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
played it and I got to the first boss. No, I got the Father Gascoigne. I got the Father
Okay.
Gascoigne, and I
Okay.
got my ass whooped. And I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm done. I don't want to play this game because it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that was like 2016, 2017. And then I stepped away. And then this thing called the pandemic happened. And I was like,
Oh,
I need a game to play because there's
that
nothing
thing.
out there for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down because it was 2020 was the year of I'm going to play games that are critically acclaimed that I've never touched before, that everyone's freaking out
Okay.
about, right?
That's a good plan. Yeah.
So Dark Souls was in there. Castlevania Symphony of the Night was in there. Link's Awakening was in there. Like all of these games that I've never played before that are just like so highly praised. I was like, I'm going to
Mhm.
go through and do it. And played Dark Souls 1, beat it. I was like, oh my God, I'm like on a high right now. And it was like, everyone said, don't play Dark Souls 2. And I was like, okay, I'm going to play Dark Souls 3. And then there was a moment in Dark Souls 3 that broke my brain. And it's when you open up the doors and you end up in Anor Londo again. And it was like, oh my
Yes,
God,
dude.
I
Oh,
lost my shit.
yes.
Um, and then once I was done with Dark Souls 3 and I beat that, I was like, I got to go into Bloodborne. And
Yeah.
then in 1 month, I beat Bloodborne 4 times because I
Oh
just,
yeah, dude.
Bloodborne is top 5 game of all time now for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
But Sekiro, couldn't really get into Sekiro. I didn't like the
Me
fighting.
either.
I didn't like the fighting mechanics to it. Um,
No, not really, huh?
no. And then we got the hype behind this. We got the hype behind
Mhm.
Elden Ring. So this game comes out with George Railroad Martin attached to it and
Yeah.
Miyazaki, the creator, the father of the Soulsborne franchises.
Yeah.
And so you have the guy who goes overly detailed into his stories and the game creator who goes so vague into his gaming stories,
Yes.
making a game together. And oh, does it click? Does it work? And is this the modern day equivalent to Chrono Trigger? Because it's like the
Oh man.
it's like the superstars of like pop culture media coming together to give you this
Right.
giant like epic that we got. So
Mhm.
what was your hype level going into Elden Ring?
Okay, this is gonna be super funny because I remember seeing the trailer. And as much as I love these games, I remember seeing the original like reveal trailer. I watched it and I said, "Ooh, I forgot about it. I forgot about the game." I'm not even kidding. I forgot about the game. Like I was more excited for a long time about the Demon Souls remake because I knew about it and it was on my radar, and that's the reason why I even bought a PS5 like in the first place. Like I play it more like now. It wasn't the
Yeah.
only reason, but like I was like, "Yay, Demon Souls remake!" And the rest of the world is like, "Elden Ring, bitch!" And I'm like, "What's that?" So, I didn't start to get excited until a couple months before release. Really,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I feel like in my very old gamer age, I've tempered my expectations about releases about anything. I feel like in this gaming landscape, the more a dev or a more a publication promises about a game, and the more they try to drive hype and things like that, the more I'm like, you know what? Mm, let's wait until somebody actually plays it. Because my heart was broken too many times. I don't pre-order. I don't wait for anything. I even didn't pick this up day one because I was waiting. Yeah, I didn't pick it up day one because I was waiting for people's real reactions to the game and if there was anything game breaking and things like that. And I even saw a lot of people were having issues with like frame rate stutter and stuff like that. So I was like, nope, I'm gonna wait. I can wait. I can wait. I'm still coming off of the high of Demon Souls. I can wait. And then I bought it the next day. But like, but
It's still within that 24-hour period.
yeah, yeah. Like I couldn't. As soon as I knew it was out and I read about it, I waited one whole day and then I
Yeah.
started playing. Yes.
So you mentioned Demon Souls.
Mhm.
Did you ever play Demon Souls on the PS3? You just waited for
No.
you just got the PS5 version?
Yeah, I never played the original, so
I like Demon Souls. I thought it was fun. We're going to
yeah.
talk about that when we get into the ranking of the Soulsborne games towards the end here.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, Demon Souls was one of those things that kind of just it whet my appetite in
Mhm.
just holding me over for this to come out, because I remember the first trailer. You saw this like knight Valkyrie riding on a horse and then like
Yeah.
attaching their arm or something like that to him. Like, what the
Oh,
hell is this? Like,
yeah.
this is
Mhm.
like, how's this going to go into play? What does this like mean? I don't know. And it's amazing at the same time, but like you said, our hearts have been broken so many times when it comes to gaming, right?
Yes. Yes.
Going all the way back to Duke Nukem Forever, going to Cyberpunk 2077, right? Like all of these
Yeah.
games that were so hyped up and so ready for us, and this is the game that's going to revolutionize video gaming and stuff like that. Like, is it like we've been down this road before?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Absolutely.
So going into it, before we get into the nitty gritty of what we're going to be talking about, how far are you in the game?
Oh,
So how many
okay.
hours have you put in? you
Sure.
know we're going to try to steer a little bit away from spoilers, because it's a long game, and you're
Okay.
going to hear how long we've both been playing this game, and you're going to realize how far we've actually only made it in this game
Yes.
as well.
Yes, dude.
So so
Okay.
how far are you?
Okay, so at this point, I'm 70 hours in. So I've been playing it for 70 hours. Um, I gotta name drop a couple places,
Okay,
just
that's fine.
just for references. I don't want to spoil anything, but names are names. Like, um, as far as like main story and stuff like that, I made it to the capital like yesterday.
Okay.
Like I've been mobbing around the capital. What I did was I've been exploring everything. I've been trying to find every nook and cranny, every cave, every piece of armor. I'm going into it like a hoarder. I'm trying to collect every spell, incantation, like armor set, like everything. That's what I've been doing, and it's brought me to a lot of really amazing places. I would say that I did complete um, Ronnie, Ronnie the Witch's quest line. I
Okay.
completed that, so I kind of made it a point because I guess this is a spoiler. Well, I mean, if anybody's ever played the game, you know that some version of the Moonlight Sword is in every single version of the game. Well, in this one, it's the Dark Moon Great Sword, and I had never collected it in any version of the game before because I never really ran any type of magic build. Like traditionally, I was sword and board.
Hmm.
So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it for this one, and I'm going to make it a goal to finally, after all these games, go collect a sword, and I did. And that quest line took me to so many amazing places. It takes you to places you would never think are in the game, and then the game opens up to places you didn't even expect that would even be there. And I did that. I've explored the okay lava area. Like I've completely explored the lava area. Lots of underground places.
Have you? So
Caelid.
you said the lava area, like you're talking about Volcano Manor.
Yes,
Yeah.
the volcano manor of Mount Gelmir.
Have you gone into like I know like there's two parts of Volcano Manor.
Mhm.
Have you done both parts?
I beat the boss.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes.
I beat the
Oh,
boss.
your
Wow.
gimmick boss of the game. Your gimmick boss of the game.
Yes, but it was still so cool.
Oh my
Like it was
god,
still
yeah.
like visually. Okay, the game is visually stunning. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to sidetrack about what we're talking about, but
No.
I guess we'll get into that. But that's where I've been. I kind of I started side questing my butt off, and now I'm finally doing the main quest, and I finally made it. And I know as far as the main quest goes, there's still so much to do past the capital, but that's where I'm at. I
Okay.
I, I fully expect to be 100 plus hours before I beat it.
Okay. So as of right now, I am 137 hours in,
Mm-hmm.
and I am about 30% of the way through playthrough number 2. I've
Yeah,
already
yeah,
gone
okay, that
and
sounds right.
I've already gone and beaten it, and during that first playthrough, I did the Ronnie quest. I did
Oh, okay.
I got the Dark Moon Greatsword.
Yeah,
It is probably my favorite weapon in the game.
it is really cool.
It's awesome, and that just, it makes me, honestly, it makes me feel like I'm Link when he has the full hearts and you throw out the, like, the little, like, power
Yes, dude.
from your sword. I was like, oh, that really does feel like
Yes.
between that and then I have this really awesome whip that has all of these spikes around it. It makes me feel like I'm playing Castlevania, because all I
Yeah,
ever wanted was a Castlevania in the Dark Souls style universe. And like,
that
it's
would
like,
be
oh,
really cool.
I'm close to it. There's flying
You
bats in this game.
There are flying bats. Yes, there are.
um but so my first playthrough, I went through and I did a lot. I did a
Mhm,
lot of the missions, the side quests. I did, I mean, the entire story, of course.
mhm.
I have some things that we're going to talk about when we get into the least favorite parts of the game, when it gets to that, when we talk about my experience. But my
Sure,
second
sure.
playthrough right now, I am going on a quest to defeat all 84 bosses in the game.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
am about, like I said, 30% of the way through the game right now. I have around 30 bosses beaten already.
Mhm.
Um, but I've experienced enemies that I've never seen before from my first playthrough. Um, and now I'm just enjoying this new one because it feels like it's a brand new game now. Like, you are as powerful as you were at the end, but it
Right.
is just, there's just so many things that I wasn't paying attention to my first time through because I was just so in awe and so wow. It's almost like going and watching a movie after you know what the plot twist is
Mhm, mhm.
again, because you're like, oh, I didn't see that the first time. I didn't recognize that the first time. I can't believe
Yeah.
I didn't notice this. Or I didn't talk to this person before I did this thing. So now this time I'm going to talk to them before this event happens, and so on. It's
Yes.
like there's so many little things. I'm like, I'm so far in, and at the round table, there's still people that haven't shown up, and I'm like, where are they in this game? Like, where are they
Oh,
right now? And I'm like,
okay.
hmm, interesting. But knowing what I know going into it, I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch! I see what's happening here, and I want to talk about it and spoil it, but I can't.
Yeah, yeah, like, man, if this was like an all hands spoiler alert kinda deal,
Yeah,
I would be, I'd be diving deep. I'd be
yeah.
diving deep because yeah,
Oh,
I mean, similarly, right? Like, I'm learning about all these NPC quest lines after the fact, I feel like. 'Cause, when I played through Dark Souls 3, I made it like, I made a point to really try to meet every person and fulfill their quest lines and things like that.
yeah.
And I know since Elden Ring is fresh, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And, I know I've completely missed some already. I know I haven't met some people that I probably won't anymore. Speaking of the, of the Volcano Manor, I whiffed that one. I found myself a hidden wall and I did it without anybody's help.
Yeah.
Um, oh man, and like with Selin, I have no idea what's going on with her. And I know she has a whole quest line.
Oh,
No
um,
clue.
no,
No clue.
I'm figuring it out right now. Actually,
Yeah.
that is right before I hopped on to this call with you.
Okay.
That's where I was at. So I found Selin,
Yeah.
and then I found another Selin,
Yes. Okay. Yes, I've seen that.
and apparently something happens after a particular boss fight, that you have to go back and talk to one of those Selins in order for the next event in that story to happen.
Oh,
And I
I
have
see.
not. I don't know how many boss fights you've gotten and you've done so far, like big boss fights, great ruins. Um, but your third one is what's going to trigger the second part of that story.
After what, the big bad of the capital?
Oh, no, 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 the big bad of
Oh.
the desert.
Oh, Radon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I beat him.
So
What a fight.
yeah.
What a fight, by the way.
Oh.
Okay, so you and I both beat him pre-patch.
Hmm.
We both had 1.0 victories.
Yes.
So we fought him at his absolute hardest because he was nerfed after that. His hitboxes were
Oh,
reduced and things like that. Yeah, so when people fight him today, they don't fight the Radon that we fought. They
that
don't
just shows.
fight
Back in my day.
back in my day in 1.0 a few weeks ago. We had to beat Radon with broken
Yeah.
hitboxes. Yeah.
Uh, is it bad that I got the mimic the day after they nerfed it through the
Oh,
patch?
dude.
Uh,
Okay. I think I got the mimic in the next day. And the next day they nerfed it for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was so heartbreaking. Um, but my overall experience with this game, though, right? We talked about you have 70 plus hours. I'm
Hmm.
at almost what 5-6 days of my life been put into this game already.
Hmm.
Um, I can't believe the scale of this game.
Dude, yes.
So one of the things that I said at the beginning when this game came out, and the first day I did a 12-hour stream of it, and then like the next day or two when I was playing, I was like, this game has out Breath of the Wild. It is
I'd
one of
agree.
those things of, I see that over there, I can get to it.
Yeah.
How do I get to it?
Yeah.
And it might not even be the clearest way of just going over there. It might be on the other side of a map, there's a treasure chest that you have to open up and it
Hmm.
teleports you to that area. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like and the fact that what you see is like part of the game, because then there's the whole underworld of the game, which is
Yes.
the size of the overworld. Like, what? It's like, I didn't expect the game to have multiple layers.
I didn't
and
either, not to that degree, no.
and when you see the castles and you're going through the entire castle,
Yeah.
like that castle looks huge, great, you're going through that whole thing.
You're doing
Oh,
it.
that library looks ridiculously huge, great, you're going through that entire
Mhm.
thing. Like,
Mhm.
what?
That was I love that they did that because like a big part of Elden Ring is the huge overworld. It's the exploration. You get the Breath of the Wild-esque overworld with your horse. You get the caves and dungeons and stuff they're kind of reminiscent of like Chalice dungeons from Bloodborne, things like that. But those big places, those big castles, those big points of interest, that's classic Dark Souls, baby. Like it opens up from this, really big overworld into a tight and focused, terrifying dungeon. And it's not just one; it's a bunch. Like every major area that has to do with like the main quest, the lore, things like that, they get their own classic Dark Souls dungeon. And I was so happy to see that. Like they really spared no expense, like making this game. They're like, we're going to make a masterpiece. We're going to make the game that Dark Souls players always wanted to play. And in my opinion, they succeeded.
Yeah. And the fact that I think the biggest eh, thing about it was, you didn't really need to call it Elden Ring. You could have just called it Dark Souls 4. Like, it really, but I feel like this is its
Yeah.
own standalone thing, though. I
It's a
don't
different
think
world. It's a different
you
world.
you don't need DLC for this game right now.
I
Like,
bet they're gonna make it though.
oh my god, if they do, I don't even know what you would do.
There's a big
What
empty part of the map right in the middle that's just begging to add something there.
Oh, you mean to tell me, like, under that water, under the ocean?
I don't know. There's a
They're
big
gonna go
cloud. I think they're
BioShock?
gonna move the cloud. They're gonna scoot the cloud over. They're gonna put a new continent right there in the cloud. You're gonna play Elden Ring 2 within Elden Ring 1.
Oh my god. No, but the scale of this game, like, the game really is Dark Souls 4. The
Sure,
everything from
absolutely.
your classes to your stats, your attributes,
Mhm.
to fat rolling.
Mhm.
Fat rolling's back, and God,
Mhm.
why? Please stop it. That's why I liked Bloodborne so much, is I didn't need the fat roll at all, and I
Dude,
didn't need the shield.
dump so many points into endurance just to not
Yeah,
fat roll. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but just like, overall, the scale of this game is, I can't think of a game that matches this, right? I mentioned Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is huge. Breath of the Wild's map
Yeah.
is ridiculously huge, but it's empty. This game
Largely, yeah.
is there's something everywhere. I was walking
Mhm.
around a foggy forest, and I just had this giant group of bears attack me.
Oh, The
I'm
bears.
I'm in the swamps, and not only are giant crabs attacking me, but giant lobsters are attacking me. The night and day cycles. We have special bosses at
Hmm.
nighttime. Those
Yeah.
goddamn death birds. I fucking hate those death birds
They're
so bad.
wild. They're so ooky looking. Yeah.
My least favorite enemy of the entire game are those like bug-like creatures with the cages over them.
With the cages over them. Bug-like creatures with the cages over them.
Yeah, there's ones that have like spears, and then there's ones that have bow and arrows, and they have like multiple arms, and they're shooting like
Oh,
37
the
arrows
dudes.
at you.
Okay, yes, yes, the centipede thingamajigs.
I hate those things so much.
Oh, they're terrible. Oh my god, they're terrible. You
And
cannot
then you see like
escape.
the balloons of them in the sky, and when you get close to them, they fall out of the balloons. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Okay, I love that. I loved
It's
that part.
awesome.
I love
It's
that
awesome. It's
part.
still terrifying though.
It is. It is. It is.
But like I said, the scale of this game is honestly unmatched, and the fact that
Yeah.
there's so much in this world, there can be so much more. You know, joining in, playing with friends, playing
Yeah.
against people, going to places I still don't know how to get into in this game, finding giant puzzle-like towers that you have to work your way down or up through in order to
Yeah.
get to it, like over in Khalid. Oh my god, Khalid is one of the most terrifying places in this whole game, until I uncovered the north part of the map, and then I got even more scared playing this
I
game.
I hear about it. I know its reputation. I'm scared to go there too, but I mean, then
There's
again, like the first time I entered, ah, I can't pronounce some of the things in this game. I don't know if it's Khalid, Salid,
yeah, yeah,
Khalid, like
the red desert.
the Red Desert. It's the very first time I found that place, which I think a lot of people did similarly. You go east, you go through Limgrave, you go east,
Mhm.
you go through the Mistwood, you get chased out of there by bears. You're terrified, you don't know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden the game opens up into this vast red spooky mushroom desert. And the crows, the giant
Oh,
crow monsters. I
oh.
walked up to that ledge where your Lost Grace is, where you cited Grace is,
Mhm.
and I just looked and I saw the giant crow monsters. I was like, all right. That's what this area is.
This is
I'm
gonna
gonna
kill
hate
me.
this. Yes.
Don't forget the T-Rex
The
dogs.
T-Rex dogs, yes. Dude, that whole area is like, what's the one thing that everybody is terrified of? Oh, the dogs. You know, Dark Souls, everyone hates the dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, make them dragons. Just make them just make them huge, humongous.
Yeah, my
They'll love it.
honestly, my intro to Khalid, or Khalid, however you want to pronounce it,
Mm,
very similar. Got went through all those places, got to that Grace, and then I saw over there was like a path, and I'm like, oh, there's a whole bunch of zombies there. I'm gonna
mhm.
go and just try to beat the crap out of them, get some XP. And I walked up and hit the first one, and the health bar barely moved. I went, oh
Oh,
shit.
yes, it barely ticked. And I was like, oh, I'm
And then
losing
they
level.
started eating me, and I was like, oh, what's this scarlet rot thing?
Yes. Oh my God. Another thing. Let's make the dogs the size of T-Rexes. Let's make poison 2.0. Let's everything that was the hardest part of Dark Souls. Let's just up it. Let's just make it
Oh,
worse. Make it worse for
and
everybody.
like, and you talked about doing the Ronnie quest, and in the Ronnie quest, you had to go through a river of scarlet rot
Yes.
in order to get to
Yes.
a classic Dark Souls thing of getting inside the grave and being transported somewhere else in the
Mm-hmm.
world.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'm glad that they kept that.
yeah, yeah, it was one of those things like, I appreciate, I know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great nod. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many places, so many. I can't even say memorable characters because I forget all of their names. I just know that they're memorable for certain things, right? You have the giant pot guy who got stuck in the ground.
Alexander.
Yeah, right. But did you find the village, the pot
Jarberg.
village? Yeah,
Jarberg.
Jarberg.
Yeah, I found Jarberg.
Oh my
Yes, I
god,
did.
like it's so that's adorable. Like that
Yeah.
whole thing is great.
Yes.
That's only like the peaceful place in the entire world too.
Yeah.
um because even like the round table is not what you think it is. And you
Yeah.
were telling me once you were in the capital you found the other version of the round table.
Yes.
which is very cool because that was a Dark Souls 3 thing or a
And
Bloodborne thing.
Bloodborne
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
where you found the original like set,
Yeah.
like what it was
Yeah.
inspired by. Um, but yeah, I mean, you have D, who was at the round table. You have Gideon,
Hmm.
who is great as well. I love the weird lady who sits next to the fingers and just talks for the fingers.
Oh,
The,
did she have a
the
name, or is
finger,
she just a
the
finger reader,
finger
like
maiden or what something like
finger reader crone or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the bell bearing ladies. The
Yeah.
shop. They're
Yes.
just
They're just. I think they're
there's
dead.
are they?
I don't
I,
know. I think they're dead. I mean, it's not the first time Dark Souls has made somebody dead an NPC to interact
right,
with, so I don't know.
right. Um, so talking about we go into we talked about our experience. Talking about the characters right now. Like, who's your favorite characters in this game?
Oh, dude. Okay, so I mean, absolutely Alexander. Like, it's so fascinating because
Hello,
yes,
hello.
he's
I
so
shouldn't be
jovial.
stuck here.
You find him stuck in a hole and you have to beat him out of it. And he's so cordial, and he's so nice. And then um he shows up later to help out in some like really key moments and stuff like that. And then you find out more about the lore of what the Jar Knights are and stuff like that, and like their place in the worlds between. And it gets a little like, ugh, but you're like, yeah, he's nice though. He's great. He was cool. Basically, anybody who was super nice to me. Blyde, loved him.
Oh,
Loved
oh,
him. What a
right.
cool character.
Yeah.
Um, I actually particularly liked Ronnie too.
Oh
She was
yeah,
she's
yeah.
very
I liked
nice.
her sister too. I forget what her sister's name was.
Rena?
Th-
No, Rena. No,
That's the queen, right? Or the
that's Renala. It's
see
gonna
how they
start
all
with a
run
G,
together.
R, or an M.
Don't worry, the comments are just tear us apart for it. Oh, you're not
Yeah.
even really a fan of Elden Ring, are you? Everyone just sounds like Macho Man apparently in this the chat. Yeah, I mean, oh my god, Blyde was great. Um, God, I don't want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, I even okay. So everybody that was around Ronnie's quest line, they were all really interesting. There was one guy who was kind of a
Oh
jerk, but like he was still interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like the giant
Even the
blacksmith.
giant, yeah, the
Yes.
giant guy.
EG? Was that his name?
Yeah, it's
EG?
EG or Inja or
NG,
something.
AG?
Yeah, but he was the
Sorry,
blacksmith of the
sorry,
world.
viewers.
Yeah. You have Brock, who was the little monkey guy. Did you run into him yet?
The guy that was a tree.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. His quest, I did it a little out of order, but I still got to the end result of it. It's just nice that you don't need to pay for your alterations with him. I was like, okay, thanks. I don't use my alterations.
Oh, I haven't finished that one yet. So I knew that existed. So he's the one that
Yeah.
does it. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
He'll give you one of the sewing needles, and then that just every time you go to him, he'll
Got
do
it.
your
Okay.
alterations, which
Yeah.
I've done them just to see what they would look like, and I'm like, well, this makes it look less cool now.
All it
Like
does is remove the robe, and then the
yeah,
stats go down a little bit.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't want that. I
No.
want to look badass. I want to look cool.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our characters looking cool.
Okay.
Right? What did you start off as?
Okay, so I started off as a prisoner with my toilet helmet.
I love that helmet.
It's really weird. Yeah, it's super cool. So, yeah, I started off as a prisoner, and I guess now it's kind of becoming a trope online to do magic or start as a prisoner, or like and follow like the Dex intelligence builds and stuff like that. It became part of the meta that some people are like, meh, over. I'm like, shut up. But I did start there coincidentally, and I knew in the beginning that there were twin blades in the game because I saw them on some video, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. I want to play the twin blades. And then for like, I don't know, 30 or 40 hours, maybe more, like I rocked the twin blades. I rocked the twin blades all the way through Ronnie's quest line.
The twin blades haven't been in a game since Dark Souls 2, right?
They certainly weren't in 3 or Bloodborne. So I didn't even know.
And
I don't remember if they were in 2.
yeah. Yeah, I thought that was like one of the big things that stood out about 2. I could be
Okay.
mistaken as well, but
Okay.
played maybe 2 hours of Dark Souls 2, and I was like, this doesn't feel right to me. It felt different,
It was
but
different, and it wasn't spearheaded by Miyazaki either. Like
right.
it was
It's
different.
it's the BioShock 2
Yeah.
of of the Dark Souls trilogy.
Yes. But
Um,
yeah, but yeah, I rocked that. I found my spells. I raised my decks. And I went through that. But I really wanted to really dive into the magic aspect of it. And after her quest line and things like that, like hers is surrounded by, magic. So I really leaned into it. But I still find it kind of boring to just cast spells. Like I've never, I don't know, in any game that I ever played, I want to be like up in the action. So I cut the difference. I rock the Dark Moon Great Sword. I rock the Wing of Estelle. Also, did you ever find that? Did you ever use it?
no, I did not use it.
Okay, it's a
I
curved.
have it.
Oh, you have it. Okay, so you know
Yeah.
what it is. Like
Yeah.
curved sword that looks like a dragonfly, and when you swing it, make novas happen and explode things. So it basically has two Ashes of War in one, where you can throw the nova that explodes, and if you charge your R2, you actually fling blades, kind of like Moonveil, but not as far.
Mhm.
So you kind of get the best of both worlds with it. And then I jacked up my endurance so I could wear heavy armor because I wanted to look cool. So I'm rocking that tree sentinel armor and I
Mm.
got my brass shield. So I'm still sword and board, but I can, shoot Comet Azure if I want to.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say, what type of spells are you using? Like, because I know when
Stone
people are
Pebble.
doing, yeah, well, I was like, when people do like their particular builds, like someone will be like,
Yeah.
I'm a strict blood loss build, or I'm a strict poison build, or I'm a strict fire build, or like,
Oh,
are you
dude.
kind of like a jack of all trades, or is there one particular
Yeah.
one that you're like, that's my boy?
No, I'm just having fun. I
Yeah.
didn't meta it that much. Like I wanted to just have fun and play like I have with the other games. So I'm not min-maxing anything. I I just have my glintstone pebble and greater glintstone shard. I have my oh my god, what are they called? The rock throw, the gravity rocks. I got the
Yeah.
gravity rocks. I got when I want to just mess around, I do have Comet Azure, so I can Kamehameha everything into the
Hmm.
ground if I want to, which I actually did before I hopped on here with you. I saw one of the big gargoyles and I was like, nah. So I melted him with that. But like
Oh, it's
so
great
I
against
can
the tree sentinels.
yeah.
It,
But yeah,
not the tree sentinels,
uh
the guardians, or the
Guardians.
avatars, the avatars.
Yes, the Urge Tree avatars, is that what they're
Yeah.
called? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Those guys. The demons from Dark Souls 1 reskin. Yeah. Um so yeah, like he my character is actually a pretty powerful mage build. But I want to fight. I don't want to just cast spells. So I
Mhm.
use Dark Moon Greatsword. I use Wing of Estelle, and I just go in there with trickier weapons, I guess. That's really what it's given me.
Yeah. When I started off, I started as the samurai
Hmm.
because I am normally I would pick like the barbarian or the warrior or whatever
Yeah.
because I just want to hit shit. I just want to beat the shit out of everything. I don't care about magic. I don't care about spells. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Spoiler, stay tuned for my later conversations. But
Sure.
um but I went in, um started off with just because the reason I picked the samurai is because the samurai also had the bow and arrow, and coming
Oh,
right
okay.
off of Demon Souls, I had that fire bow and arrow that was like a legendary weapon in the game, which was like one of the most powerful weapons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm coming off of that. I know that I'm really good with the bow and arrow, so I'm gonna pick that, and I'm gonna pick the sword because I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna be fast as well. Um, Playing through, I was like, went to one of the shops, and on the shop I was like, oh, that sword looks familiar, and it was Zweihander. And
Oh,
I was
uh-huh.
like, I was like, that's the weapon that I used in Dark Souls 1. That's the weapon I used in Dark Souls 3. Like that was my weapon. Like
Okay.
that was the weapon that I always wanted. So I grabbed that. I leveled it up like as much as I could. I think it was at the time it was like a +8, and I'm like 3 hours into the game and I'm already at like a +8. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be invincible. And then I was like, man, this weapon kind of sucks now. Like it's not as powerful as I was expecting it to be. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, like so playing through, I found my two favorite weapons of the game that I use is the Dark Moon Greatsword, of course,
Yeah.
and then the sword that looks like the Game of Thrones throne. Um,
Yes. Oh my god, what is that even
this
called?
I forget what it's called, but I call it the Sword of Thrones because
It's the
that's
Sword of
really what.
Thrones. It's the
Yeah,
sword made of swords. Yes.
like, oh, really, George R. Martin? Like, you're not gonna add something that looks like Game of Thrones into this game, but like
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
it's so heavy, it's so big, and I think in order to use it, your strength needs to be at 40 minimum. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine, whatever. I'll just jack uh my strength up as much as possible for it. And I use those two. When I'm on horseback, I'll have that out,
Mhm.
my Sword of Thrones, and I'll just beat the shit out of everything with it. If I'm on foot, I will have the Dark Moon Greatsword out, and I will just attack things from a distance, but then get up and then just start whacking things as fast as possible
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. But um, my outfit is Desert Boss Boy.
Radon.
Yeah, Radon. I love his headpiece. That
His
just
armor's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
just that red hair coming from the back of it, that
Mhm.
really awesome cape that he has. I want to use his swords. I have them, and it's just it's so slow. But
Are they
God,
colossal weapons? Do they count as colossal weapons?
I believe they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I know
because
if you two-hand them, don't they turn into two?
they do, but it's
Yeah.
still such a slow build up to use them.
Mm.
But you do get that really awesome gravity move where you slam them into the ground, and then
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
oh my
You
God,
suck
it's
them
so
in and
cool.
then you just melt them.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's awesome, and I I love my outfit. I love what I've done, but when it got to the end of the game, I had to restat my character 4 times
Really?
in order to beat the end of this game. And that's going to lead into the least favorite part of this game.
Oh, sure, sure.
um, there were some things that I did not like, and it's okay. Like, there's been amazing games. There are masterpieces out there. We talk about Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild's amazing, and there's so much fun stuff to do in that game, but it's empty as hell. Okay,
Right.
let's call it like it is. Right? It's still a masterpiece, but it's empty as hell.
Mhm.
Elden Ring. I'm not going to say it is because we're going to give an overall rating towards the end here. Is It was great up to a point, and then I stopped having fun for a little bit.
Oh,
And
really?
it was the final boss. I was stuck on this final boss for 5 days.
No, really?
Yes, it is.
Dude.
It it's rough. It's rough, and the first part of the boss fight is easy.
Hmm.
Spoiler alert: there's 2 parts, but I think everyone would have known that there's
I
multiple parts to the
Yeah,
final boss of a From Software game.
I think that actually kinda got spoiled for me too, because I think Donkey, of
Yeah,
course, I think
yeah,
Donkey spoiled the final boss for me,
yeah.
so I know what you're talking about.
Um, but that final boss, I couldn't do it, and I had to constantly keep restatting myself over
Yeah.
and over again to try to figure out what was working. And I ended up going with a mixture of a light katana blood loss
Oh, sure, okay.
mixed with magic, because I was using the Kamehameha a lot in that fight, but the blood loss was just helping me so much. But
Mhm.
it's such a brutal fight, and I thought the most shittiest boss fight ever was the end of Dark Souls 3, was the Lord of Cinder. That took me days to do as well, and I just
Ah,
couldn't
okay.
understand his move set. I couldn't understand his mechanics. And this one, everything is just one hit killing you. Everything is
Yes.
like, there's just no breathing room. And I have the mimic out there, I threw my wolves out there, I do all these things, and nothing was working.
Mm.
I hated that boss fight so much until I did it and I beat it, and I threw my controller on the ground, screamed, got up, ran throughout my house. My wife was like, "I'm very proud of you for what you just did, but please, like, you're a 30-plus-year-old adult."
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
I was like,
doesn't matter.
I was like, "Did you see what I just did? Like,
Yeah.
I fought a god, okay?" And it says "God slain" at the end, or
Mhm,
"God
mhm.
felled." But there is a boss fight in this game that is worse than that. and I'm looking at a boss that has two people in it. And if anybody is playing right now or knowing, you know
Oh,
that,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
I know what you're
you
talking about.
know there is a boss fight that is so unfair. It is unfair. Like, and that's the
Yeah.
one I think a lot of people would stop playing this game because of how the difficulty spike with this one particular, oh, these two bosses in
Yeah.
one.
You're talking about Tall Boy and Big Boy.
Chubs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know they're very vulnerable to sleep?
I do know that, but you need so many things and
Yeah.
particular things to build those sleep bombs.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, but yeah, I have to cheese them with the Hoarfrost stomp. I did.
I never
And
got to use it. I never got to
but
use it
well, I'd
pre-patch.
used it after they did it, and I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
so it's like it's taking me like, I think the overall fight for them was like 15 minutes.
Mm,
Like, I fought them. It was over the course of a couple days in order to actually beat them, but the
yeah.
fight itself was 15 minutes long, and I'm like, this is
That's a
just,
long fight.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I don't smoke, but I felt like I needed to smoke after that. I was
Mhm.
just like, I'm just exhausted. I'm done. I put the controller down. Like, I'm done for the night. I can't
You
handle
can't
this
go on
anymore.
after that.
Um, no, but I mean, there's some great boss fights in this game. There are some that are just, this is from software games. Like, you
Yeah.
understand, like, yeah. So those are some of my least favorite parts of this game, and also fat rolling. Fat rolling's always going to be in there. Fat rolling is terrible. Stop putting it in these goddamn games. What are some of your least favorite parts of it, Jake?
Man, okay, I made a list, but I don't even have it in front of me right now. Um, the scaling for sure, because I know towards end game it gets ridiculous because people are complaining over and over that even at 60 vitality, which is insanely huge for this style of game, uh people are still getting, two shot at like
Mm-hmm.
60, which
Yeah.
is wild. Like that I think they accidentally messed up the scaling. Like I agree. I think they messed up the scaling late game. They just got to dial that back a little
Yeah.
bit. Just a little bit. Um, I would say, man, some of the things that I didn't really appreciate about it is I know it's basically the brand at this point, but I still think the UI is clunky and outdated. I think um switching spells is clunky. I think scrolling through items and spells is weird. I think having to hold the Y button to access extra things was weird. 70 hours in, I get it, and it's second nature, but it's so uncomfortable and weird to
It
do
takes you
for so
70
long.
hours.
Yeah, it takes you 70 hours to get used to it. So some of the controller inputs, the UI, all that stuff, it's outdated, man. It's outdated. But I felt like if they changed it too much, it wouldn't feel quite like Dark Souls, would it? Like there's so many
Right.
things. There's so many things about it that's just on brand. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you. Once you've played all the other games, you go in and you're like, yeah, I know this. But to anybody who's new, they're like, what is this? This is uncomfortable. I don't like this. This is how you switch spells. I don't like that. Another thing I don't like is again in proper FromSoft fashion, they are incredibly vague about all mechanics. I know there's a tutorial area where it teaches you this is how you jump and swing your weapon, but there's
And
so
you
many
could actually
mechanics.
miss that too.
Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Dark Souls. Uh, like they're so vague about so many mechanics. Like all of your statuses, you can't even look up officially all of your status icons
Yeah.
next to all like your health and stuff. You just have to guess. You take on and off armors and stuff like that and talismans and everything. You just have to kind of guess what those are. They
I'm
don't
still
explain.
trying to figure out what, certain times at night when the leaves are falling, you get some sort of a buff, but I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what the
think
buff
it's
is for.
if I remember right, it's like 5% extra runes or something like that.
But I haven't noticed it, and
Yeah.
unless, I mean, 5% isn't a lot, but I haven't noticed it at all. And
Yeah.
I have a particular talisman that actually gives me more ruins as well.
Mm.
But
So
nope,
yeah,
I'm,
like
yeah.
they don't explain all that stuff, and that is super off-putting to players, right? Like Elden Ring has outsold Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 already. in the month that it's been out. It's gangbusters. This is its breakout. This isn't a niche franchise anymore. This is everybody's playing it now. Everybody's playing it. They could have they didn't have to make it any, easier or anything like that, but I do feel like they could have been a little more welcoming to new players by explaining more than just how to jump and swing your sword. Like if it was a little more in depth, I think a lot of people would be having an easier time. Like 100%.
So
Just in the beginning.
no, and that's we're gonna jump in. The next thing we're gonna talk about is our favorite parts of this game because we talked about our least here. But I do want to talk about this. You say it has outsold Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
in 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Less than 30 days, actually. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks into it. It sold over 12 million copies already.
Right.
Right? That's insane for a
Yeah.
game like this. But it shows that the hype was there for so long that people who've never stepped foot into this world was so intrigued, was so
Yeah.
interested. Why is this so big? Why are people freaking out over this? At the same time, though, I'm so sick of people complaining about how difficult this game is, right? I did
Yeah.
it, right? I've talked about how the final boss of this game is shitty as hell. I get it. But these are people who have never experienced From Software games. These are people who have not really ever dove into something like this. And they're complaining, oh, well, I don't like the way that the messaging system is. Listen, every time I see try finger butthole, I still laugh. Okay.
I do too, most of the time.
Like, every time I see it, like, right? Or like rump ahead.
Yes. Well, when they added the word pickle to the messaging system, I
oh
was
my
like,
God.
brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah.
But all these people, they're like, oh, well, this person says that there's a secret wall ahead and there's actually not a secret wall there. Why do people like this? This is ruining the gameplays. No, it's not. Like, it's honestly, log off, get off of the internet. You don't need to see those messages.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Experience the game yourself,
Yeah.
right? Don't have to live through other people's, I guess, misfortunes or other people. I mean, misfortunes if you watch the Bloodstains.
Their grief. Like I think the 5 million hidden path ahead messages across the world. Like it's griefing, but it's fun in a way. You expect it. Every single wall with a message by it, you're like, yeah, right. And then you hit it anyway because you're like, okay, there's a 1 in 10 chance.
Yeah, exactly. What
you
if?
still do it? Yeah.
I was actually shocked that they brought back the hidden walls.
Because I don't think I was. I knew it was going to happen.
I was shocked because I thought they were going to bring back the mimics, but I was shocked that they brought back the hidden walls because Bloodborne only had one hidden wall in it, and I think it was just to pay homage to Dark Souls.
Yeah, okay.
But like Sekiro didn't have the hidden walls or anything like that. Like I liked it. I was like, I appreciate this. But every time I saw a chest, I hit that chest because I didn't want to get attacked. Like
I was hitting them for a while. Yeah,
I know from experience what these things can do to you.
Yep.
But yeah, just the world, and I get it. Like there's a lot of casual gamers out there who grabbed this game thinking that this was going to be a open world third person action adventure game, and then they probably walked up to that first boss, that little screeching thing with the sword and the shield at the beginning of the game, and got their asses whooped by it. And it's like, welcome to Dark Souls. Welcome to
Dark Souls.
Like,
yeah.
Like, prepare to see this "you died" screen a lot. But I understand people's frustrations, but then they get mad because the people who have like been playing it for so long, like it's one of those things like this is your favorite thing, this is your hobby, and now like it's gone mainstream and like people have ruined it. People have made it more miserable almost, right? It's like they're finding everything to nitpick about it, and then they're saying, oh well, this game's terrible, this game's shit, this game's garbage. Like, no,
my cat's throwing up.
Oh, nice.
My cat hates the grief too.
But like I've seen so many messages and so many tweets and stuff like that, and it's just like, you've never played a Dark Souls, you've never played a Souls game before. Like, if you want, if you want to experience this type of stuff in an easier way, play a game. I hate to say it, but play a game like Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, while it's not easy at all, it is a great introduction to understand how these games work.
Yeah.
Right. Or even start with Monster Hunter to understand how the sword play works, how your stamina works, how that
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff works. Like those two, I think, were great intros to the From Software games. I don't think you should
Mm-hmm.
jump right into any of these right off the bat, thinking that you're going to be God's gift to gaming.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I agree there. Um, case in point, I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus, but between the three of us on our podcast, one of them lost his mind, hated it so much that
Did I?
he spent hours telling people why it was bad. And
Oh, did I watch that Twitch stream? Yes, I did. And I just sat there and just was shaking my head the whole time. I had a message Cowboy, and
yeah,
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, do you understand? Like, what? I think he lost it. I think he broke."
it broke him. It made him lose his mind. He didn't know what Elden Ring was. He didn't know it was a Dark Souls game, and he has played Dark Souls games like in the past when he jumped in with the excitement. He's like, oh, but yeah, it was wild. But it's just case in point. Like there's different types of gamers, but
Mhm.
um, I think we hit the nail on the head here that in one of our I think our last episode that like these styles of games like if anything they're just a return to form to classic gaming because every game back in the day was hard as hell. Every
Mar-
NES game,
Mario didn't have a tutorial,
no,
right?
no. Every game used to be very hard. So like Dark Souls is just a return to form. And its difficulty uh, isn't to the detriment of the players. It's the experience. It's the experience you feel when you finally beat something. Like when
You
you take
feel
down a boss,
accomplished.
you
Yeah.
do. When you take down a boss after it's taken you over an hour or days, when you finally do it, you cheer. It's triumphant. You
Yeah.
actually did it. Your body felt that. Your heart's racing, your mind is racing, your palms are sweaty, mom spaghetti. And you're like, I fucking did it. Woo!
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I love these games so much. But yeah, I mean, if you don't know that going into it, it's gonna be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And case in point, Elden Ring being the breakout game that it was for this franchise, it could have been not nicer. I don't want them to be nicer to new players, but it could have been like, hey, sit down. I'm gonna make you a cup of tea, and this is what you're in for.
Hmm.
Like I think they could have like welcomed them a little bit.
You know, and every time From Software releases a game, you always have that the age old question of should they add a difficulty to these games,
No,
right? And I don't think you should. And
no.
it's one of those things that while the game is difficult, it is you feel accomplished when you do it,
Yep.
right? When you finally hit that boss in the last time and you see it just turn into dust and you're
Hmm.
like, I fucking did it.
I did it. I did
I
that.
am a god. And then you turn the corner and you immediately die from something else that
And then
just
something just shakes you from a hallway. You're like, I just killed a god. Why?
those goddamn imps
Oh my
inside of
god,
all of
yes.
the they just hide on the ceilings and they just drop down on top of you. Oh, I hate them
Hmm.
so much. But no, it is one of those things like the game, it makes you feel good
Yep.
by beating you down. And I do
Absolutely.
it's such a weird love-hate relationship because it is one of those things where this game will just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But like there's so many times where I was like, I fucking hate this game. This game is worse. This is the worst game I've ever played in my entire life. And I'll beat the boss. I'm like, I love this game. This is the best game I've ever played.
Yeah,
like,
man.
like
Yeah.
it's so like oh my
You
god.
know, between all the games, you're hundreds and hundreds of hours in at this point.
Yeah.
At this point in my career playing these games, I get excited when I see big new monsters, and I'm like, I can't wait to see how this thing's going to murder me.
Hmm.
I actually get excited to see like the moves and see how bad it's gonna beat my ass in a minute and stuff like that. And I'm like, that was cool. I died so cool. That was great. Let's do it again.
So going from all of that talk, because it was kind of we stepped around it, what are some
Yeah.
of your favorite parts of this game?
Oh my god. Okay. So it's every single time that you walk into a new area you did not expect. And it's not just a little area. You discover this new area and it's huge and expansive. The first time you open the doors into Limgrave, you're like, "Holy crap, this place is beautiful. Oh my god, the tree is humongous. Oh my god, that golden knight wants to murder me." Like, but I kept having that. Every single time I fire this game up, it delivers some sort of visual spectacle that it takes my breath away every single time. Like when I walk into the Mistwood and see the giant bears, I'm like, whoa. When I walk into Caelid, see the crows and the dogs, I'm like, whoa. The first time that I went into the underground, into what's the name, Siofria River,
Yeah, I kept calling it Sofia Vergara's river.
The Sofia Vergara River, and I'll spoil alert, like it doesn't just look like an underground cavern. Suddenly you're in the outer realms, man.
Yeah,
And it constantly delivers. Every single place that I find that's new, I'm just like, wow. Wow. Every
yeah,
new boss that I see where their design is so intricate and their move set is so well thought out, it's like, wow. The first time, spoiler, I guess, the first time I saw Radon come back after fighting him, I was like, whoa, I cheered. Like I boss battles are something special to me. And when he came back at his halfway point for his phase two, his entrance, I literally cheered. I was like, yes! What the
yeah.
fuck?
You're
Like,
rooting for the bad guy right now. Like,
yes, dude.
I
It
want to
constantly
talk. Like,
wows me.
yeah, the Radon fight, like this. God, I mean, it's really hard to talk about this without spoilers, but the fact that it was kind of like a reverse Avengers moment,
Oh yeah.
where you see all the summon signs appear up on the ground, and you're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm gonna summon this one." Wait, they're not disappearing. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
wait, I can just keep doing it. I can keep doing it, and then it's just that charge.
And then it's the beaches of Normandy. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's so good. Um, yeah, I mean the Radon fight was awesome. I love when you ride the elevator and you come out at the first step and you
Hmm.
just look and you see that world.
Hmm.
And it is breathtaking. It is
Really, man.
just like it really is overwhelming at a particular point because you're just like,
Yeah.
where the hell am I? And then you look back and you're like, I don't even see where I started this game.
Hmm.
Like I don't like I'm in the mountains somewhere and I don't know where I'm at, or I'm down in the Weeping Peninsula, and it is crazy because like there's some type of war happening down here, and I'm
Yeah.
just stuck in the middle of it. Like, oh my god. And you're finding people sitting on the side of the road who are helping you or telling you and giving you quests or like telling you like you need to go talk to my dad. He's stuck inside this castle, or this guy who
Hmm.
was like, hey, my fort got overran by a whole bunch of monsters. Can you go take care of them for me? And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And he's like, hey, great, thanks. I'll remember you. Like, it's like, oh, that was,
Bye.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's so much to this game, and there's so many like little villages that I know.
Hmm.
It is one of the creepiest places ever in this game, but I love it because I didn't expect it. The Windmill Village
Oh, with the yes.
with just the ladies there. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, you hear it in the distance and you're like, what is that? And you get closer and you're like, this reminds me of like Midsummer right now.
I was about to name drop that movie. Yes. Yes, dude.
But like, it's the world feels so lived in. And like,
Yeah.
just from seeing the trolls dragging the carriages across the world to
Hmm.
the giant like turtle like mountain like structures that have like what mausoleums or something like that on their back.
Yeah.
Like you hear the gong of the bells that are underneath them, like in the distance. And you're like, where the hell is this?
Hmm.
To after fighting Radon, a, I mean, something crashes into the world and alters it. Right? Like
That was
there's
such a
so
cool moment.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
Yes, talking about going down to the Sofia Vergara River and realizing you've gone ridiculously underground, but underground looks like you're in space.
In space. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil it. Yes, it's
But
space. The underground is space.
like, yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, there's so many different versions of the underground, depending on where you go, who you
Hmm.
talk to, what elevator you decide to take. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
are you gonna light particular torches down there? If you light particular torches, you unlock other things that you see in this world. Like,
Hmm.
there's so much, and there's so many different species. Um, One of the things I remember going through a sewer, and there was a whole bunch of monsters, and in the mix of these monsters, there was one that looked different than all the other ones. It was like a different type of enemy or something like that. I'm like,
Okay.
well, that's weird. I haven't encountered this at all. But later in the game, I was up and I found myself on the second story of where I was at in the sewers, and it was filled with those type of enemies. And I'm like, oh shit, like, so something might have happened up here that one of them fell off and couldn't get back up. So he
Hmm.
was stuck down there with all of them. And I'm like, that's just amazing storytelling right there that came up with myself that probably was meant to be put there. Right.
It's a FromSoft game. It absolutely was.
Yeah.
Everything that's placed in these games, everything is with purpose. And I love that. I mean, case in
Yeah.
point, playing Bloodborne, towards the end of the DLC when the snail girl falls from the sky. Like that's such a weird little thing to happen, and most people don't think about it, but it's such a clue as to how that world is structured. Like, because
Yeah.
you figure out where they came from, like at a certain point.
Yeah.
And Elden Ring does the same thing.
It's Listen, I mean, when I get to the point of I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I should be doing. Fighting Cowboy and Vati Vidya are
Oh,
my go-tos for everything. And Vati
absolutely.
Vidya posted up a thing of like 15 things that you didn't expect or didn't know, or secrets in
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring, and it blew my mind. There's a complete story in the game that
Yeah.
has to do with all of the merchants
Mm-hmm.
that
Even
leads
the
to it.
merchants, even the
Yeah,
merchants are important. Yes.
the merchants have a particular story that take you to a dungeon that you can't get in unless you do something for all of them, and behind it is something that's tied to another version of the ending of this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, dude.
And normal From Software games, they have about 3 endings depending on what you do or how you play around in the world. This game has 6 different endings
That's what I
to it.
saw. Yeah.
I got the best ending, which I was very shocked that I did by accident.
Mm.
Which I will give you a little bit of a hint. You're on the way of doing it right now. You've already completed one task to it.
Okay.
There's 2 parts
Okay.
of it. You've already completed the first part. The second part is at the very end. So it depends on what
Okay.
choice you make.
Okay.
Um, but like I said, the scale of this game is amazing. The enemies, the world building, this so
Mm.
much. Like, this is a great water cooler game. Like, it's like, hey,
Dude,
I
yes.
just did this thing. Like, in our Discord we have the Elden Ring chat of like, where's everybody at, what's everybody doing, has
Yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
found anything like this, like where's this at. Like, it it is one of those games that, like, friend of the show, Dr. Lover, me and him talk all the time on Discord, because he's like, hey, I'm at this boss fight right now, what do I need to do, how do I need to
Mhm.
do this, have you, and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, where are you at, like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's the whole thing is like, we're all playing the game at the same time, but we all have different stories to tell, we all have different experiences, are somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like like you're in the capital, I'm going to the capital, but I've already done things that I'm supposed to do after the capital right now, and it's like, oh my god, like, and that's where the Breath of the Wild stuff comes into play, because like going after the divine beast however you want.
Yeah.
Well, this is really going after anything. Like, you have the whole world at your fingertips.
That is true. As long as you can survive it, you can go anywhere.
Right. So, would you recommend this game to newcomers?
Yep. I already do. I do constantly. I
Yeah.
do constantly. So,
You
yeah.
think this would be their the introduction to a From Software Souls like game?
Yeah. I do. I do, because for all of its shortcomings with not telling you anything about anything in its late game, um, and its late game scaling problems and things like that, it's still the most accessible. You can still explore. As soon as you get torrent, you can go anywhere you want. You
That
don't
double
have
jump, baby.
that double jump. It you think about the structure of Dark Souls, 1, 2, and 3. It's linear. You're at this place and you travel to this place, this place, this place. They're levels. The world is built together and it's really intricate in the way they do that, which is super cool. But they are levels, and there's things to progress like that, like like a linear game would be. Um, Elden Ring's not like that. You can go anywhere you want. Um, Torrent makes it easier. I would say the new combat skills. I mean, jumping, jumping makes it
Oh
easier.
my.
Um,
I can't like I'm going to go back and play Dark Souls 1 again and Dark Souls 3,
and you can't
and
jump. Yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to handle it
yeah,
because like it's
yeah, dude.
I feel like we are spoiled now. I don't think this is great for newcomers. I do think this is great after you've done your first Souls-like game. And I think the
Okay.
first, like for newcomers, I think it should be Bloodborne, because Bloodborne gives you the feel of how a Souls-like game works, or how a From Software game works,
Uh-huh.
but it's a little bit more fast paced. It's a little bit more of an arcadey style. It is a lot faster and quicker than Dark Souls, and you don't need to worry, or Dark Souls 2 or 3, but you don't need to worry about, well, what's my equipment load, is this gonna bother me, is
That
this
is
gonna
true.
bog me down. Like, I think Bloodborne is the best for newcomers, but this is the follow-up after
Okay.
you've mastered and you understand how these games work. This is like, all right, now we're letting you go, we're letting the chains go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's a game, it is definitely a game. um what are your feelings 1 month after the release of this, though?
I'm obsessed. Like I think I've already said it, man. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with this game.
I I couldn't tell you the last time that I felt this way about a game.
Mhm.
That like I okay, so my most anticipated game of this entire year was Tunic. And I've been waiting for Tunic for 5 years now.
Oh,
Almost as long as Elden Ring,
yeah.
but I've been waiting for this game forever, and when Tunic came out, I was like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it then, because I want to play Elden Ring. I
Yeah,
want to play
yeah.
this more. I want to spend more time in this world. Even though I've seen a shitload of this world and I've done a lot of things in this world, I still want to keep coming back. To the fact
Mhm.
that I bought it on my Xbox and I bought it on my PlayStation 5, because once I'm done with my second playthrough, I'm going to give a little bit of a breather, and then I'm platinuming this on the PlayStation.
Nice.
I need to. I platinumed um Bloodborne, and
Mhm.
I almost have the platinum in Demon Souls. I am going for the platinum in this because this game is not better than me. I'm going to prove that I'm I'm better than this game. Um but yeah, 1 month after release, to say that I am obsessed is, it's an understatement.
Yeah.
Like, I am eat, sleep, breathing everything, right? To the point where I pull up my TikTok on my phone and nothing but Elden Ring videos. Um, I go onto my YouTube and it's nothing but Elden Ring
Yep.
videos. I'm just like,
Yep.
like I'm waiting. I cannot wait for Vati Vidya's story of this, because this is, it's
Yeah,
going
dude.
to be deep. It is going to be long, and I'm going to eat it up.
I will
The
too.
the one thing I want from this game, oh, the one thing I want a strategy guide. I want some sort of thing, the guide that gives you everything, that tells you how to do things, to walk you through
Oh,
the
okay.
world, right? I This is a game that I miss strategy guides, because I would love a strategy guide for this. Just not even like if it's like telling you how to beat a boss or anything like that. It's like, no, like, in order to do this quest you should go here. we're not going to tell you what it is, but you should go here, you should
Mm-hmm.
do this, you should do this, you should have this particular item equipped when you go to this part of the world or whatnot. Like, yes, it is figuring it out yourself, or yes, it is opening it up for a lot of conversations between people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are someone who doesn't like to play games with people, or you're someone who doesn't want help, you are missing out on so much more in this game.
Oh,
There's so
absolutely.
much hidden. There's so much hidden.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, like you said, in Volcano Manor, there's a secret room that takes you to another dungeon,
Yeah, dude.
to a
Mm-hmm.
castle.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that part, when in that part of Volcano Manor, I had so much nostalgic feels of Sven's castle, Sven's fortress in Dark
Oh
Souls 1.
God. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, like snake people? What? Poison? What? Traps? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved every second of it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, oh god. Overall ranking 1 to 10, 10 being a masterpiece. Where do you put this?
Dude, can I say like 9.95?
Ooh, what
Okay, so honestly,
what's
if
the point 0.05 difference?
for me, okay, for me personally, like if this was Jake's blog, like if you're reading Jake Weekly,
I'm gonna
I would
round
put
this up, you know, it's gonna go to a
okay.
10.
Well, do it, do it, do it. It would be it would be an 11 out of 10 for me, for all the Jakes in the world.
Yeah.
This game's incredible. It just had a few shortcomings, like broken NPC quests, patches a few weeks into it. They nerfed some weapons that I wish they didn't, because some weapons should be legendary, I think, and they should be crazy good. Um,
But some people
I
are breaking
still
the game with it though.
They are.
That's
That's true. That's true. Um, there was weird PvP exploits at launch. I still get frame rate stutters playing it that I didn't experience, like with Dark Souls 3 on my PC. Yeah, smooth as butter.
Are you
But that's
playing
when
on PC?
I am, yeah. And I
Okay,
still, and I,
we should have talked about that at the beginning of what console did we play it
oh,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm playing on PC, and
because I do know that the PC version had a lot of hiccups at launch. I do
yeah,
know that there was a lot of frame rate issues. I know that there was a lot of just loading of the game itself too. But
yeah. So there are hiccups when the game world is loading. Like when assets are loading in, sometimes you'll feel it,
Mhm.
and it doesn't break the game because it's smooth as butter. But then when you go somewhere else, you might get some hiccups. Like, um, there's just some stuff that I would say there was a little bit of polish that should have been there that I took a tenth, no, 5/500ths of a point off, I guess. Like it was a little dusty. If
Okay,
they released it a month later with all the patches and stuff, it would have been fine, I think. But um honestly though, I mean for me it's a 10 out of 10,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. 1 month later, overall ranking, this game is a masterpiece.
Mhm.
This and I'm gonna make this is a bold statement. This is one of the greatest games ever made.
With the way it
It
makes me feel, I think so.
it 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 matches everything. Listen, from the first boss fight, and I'm not talking about first boss fight when you start the game. I'm talking about first boss fight on the main menu of the screen. When that theme song hits and I
Oh,
had
yes.
goosebumps and it just at the end just Dune. I felt
Mhm.
like I got my ass kicked by
Mhm.
by the theme song of this game, right? Like that just shows you how epic this adventure is going to be. Like
Yeah.
the music to this game, the world, the visualizations. You haven't even gotten to the ROM side of this game yet. Um,
Oh. Oh,
so
okay, I know something happens. Because I was being a dork and invading and challenging people to punching contests,
yeah,
and I saw their world and what it looked like, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I didn't see that."
yeah, it is. I love that there is like because that was one of the best things about Bloodborne was there is the
Mhm.
after the ROM fight, the world changes, right? There's
Yeah.
something that happens in this game that the world changes, and it
Yeah.
is just like, oh my god! And then, but it doesn't affect just the world; it affects other areas of the game as well,
Yeah.
too. And it's just like, oh. And
I'm
now
gonna be playing it after this, so I'm excited.
um no, but like it oh my god. I can't get over how I'm not going to say the game's perfect. There's only one perfect game out there, and it's called Chrono Trigger. I'm sorry, there's only
Chrono
one perfect
Trigger's
game.
really good.
It's like Chrono Trigger and Super Metroid, I would say, are the two like most perfect games ever made.
Mm.
Super Mario World would be in there too. I mean, that list can keep going on, but
The SNES era,
yeah,
my
yeah,
personal golden era of gaming.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
exactly. Um, but with this, like, this is a masterpiece of gaming. This is a
Mm.
masterpiece of video game storytelling,
Yeah,
of making you, like, even if you're not paying attention, you could create your own story to what you think's happening in this world. You
true.
know, you don't need, spoiler alert, to fight all of the shard bearers if you don't want
Yeah,
to.
that's true.
um it can make the game harder if you do. It can make the game easier if you don't. But it's and that's a weird thing. It's like, well, wait, if I'm fighting more bosses, wouldn't I get stronger? Yes, but it might affect something that you notice later in the game. Like, there's so much to this game that
Mm.
it just, they thought of everything. And how so many conferences and so many events have gone by of, are we getting Elden Ring? Are we going to see Elden Ring? Are they going to talk about Elden Ring? And it never came, and it never came, and it never came. And this is why everything was so hush hush, for them to just give us everything. Give us
Yeah.
everything that we wanted. Like, the only thing that this game doesn't have is Ludwig's Holy Blade. And then this would be the greatest game of all time, because that is the best weapon in Bloodborne. Um,
The best version of the Holy Moonlight Sword for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But yeah, I just, oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm not a football fan, right? I don't like Tom Brady, but you can appreciate him. You can appreciate what he
Right.
has done as a player. I'm a big wrestling fan. I didn't like John Cena, but you can appreciate what John Cena has done for the fan base, for kids, for all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
right? You
Mhm.
don't need to be a fan of the Souls-like games. You don't need to be a fan of Elden Ring to appreciate the greatness that this game has given us.
Yeah.
That's it. Video games are cool.
They are. Video games are fucking cool.
Jake, I appreciate you hanging out and talking about Elden Ring with me, because nobody else ever wants to.
For sure, dude. I had no outlet for this. Me either. I needed to
And
talk.
so, if anybody watching this or listening to this wants to find out where Jake from Welcome to GameCorp is from, give us the elevator pitch.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm a 1/3 owner of a podcast called Welcome to GameCorp. It's a narrative-driven video game podcast. It's set in the offices of GameCorp, an evil video game conglomerate. It's me, it's Cowboy, it's JB. We talk shop, we talk video games, we have fun with games, all sorts of stuff, all while dealing with our coworkers. So if you like podcasts with narratives, if you like things like Mystery Science Theater or The Muppet Show, even like give our podcast a shot. Like, we love
Yeah,
it. It's a work of passion. We put so many hours into every episode, and we hope you listen to it.
yeah, I absolutely love it. I listen to it on my way, because I have a an hour and a half commute to work, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
new episodes out, boom, listen to it on the entire drive, and I'm like, yeah, I
nice,
like that.
dude.
But no, honestly, like, you mentioned it. I when I say like who I listen to, and I say, like, I was like, I listen to Welcome to Game Corp, and they're like, what's that like? I was like, it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000 mixed with like gaming debates or
Yeah.
gaming topics and conversations. And they're like, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. Like, yeah, it's a great mix of both worlds, and the narrative is so good. You guys are in season 2 right now.
We are in
Episode 2
season 2.
just launched a little bit ago.
3 now, actually.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Yeah, so episode 3 launched just this last Tuesday.
Episode 2 was the Pokemon Arceus
Yes,
episode.
yes.
Which my co-host Tom guest starred in.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. There it is. Yeah, so if you want to hear Tom put in the best performance I've ever heard this man do. It was so heartfelt. It was so powerful. If you really want to see or hear peak Tom, listen to episode 2 in season 2 of our show.
once again, I appreciate you coming through, talking with me about Elden Ring, because God, this is a game that I'm probably not going to stop talking about at all the rest of this year. And this is
Oh my god.
probably definitely going to end up 100% on my game of the year list.
Hmm.
Just where? Because we're in March right now as recording this. We got 9 more months of game releases,
Nah, we don't
and
need them.
I, we really don't. But like, we just had Tunic, we have Tiny Tina, we had Kirby come out. We might
Right.
get God of War this year. There's just so much. The year without a Call of Duty. It's a great
Ooh.
year. It's a great year for gaming.
It's a great year for gaming.
But if you like this content, guys, make sure to give us a sub here over at youtube.com/badelephantgaming. You can also find us Monday through Thursday over at twitch.tv/badelephantgaming. And you can find Jake at Welcome to GameCorp on all podcast streaming services, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys are on Twitch at Welcome to GameCorp, but the
Yeah, also.
dates are question mark?
Oh man, so we kind of split it up. Like JB, he primarily streams. So
He's
I
a weekend
believe
man.
he is a weekend man. I think he does Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. Like he
It's
makes
a
it a point
lot.
to be on at least it is. He makes it a point to be on at least 4 days a week.
I love that he does Souls Saturday, but he doesn't play any Dark Souls games.
Feels like
What the hell?
Saturday. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What the
Inspired
hell,
by.
bro?
I know.
Tell him to play Blasphemous. That's a great game.
Oh yeah, that's been in my sights. I just haven't really picked it up.
Side-scrolling Dark Souls, pretty much.
Yeah.
But until next time, guys, this has been Josh, and I'll see you in the future.
Bye bye.
Bye.